Hi, we're Brenda and Jed, and we are professional photographers who are currently living on the road in our Sprinter van. We love being out in nature, capturing scenes and wildlife with awe and wonder. We are also working from the road, teaching workshops and doing presentations and writing. We do find time to play, too. The road is an endless journey of amazing encounters and experiences, and we hope to share them with you here and on our Instagram channels. Links are in the description below. If you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel to keep informed of new videos posted. Thank you. Hey Jed. Jed's going to be filming our van tour, so he's the man behind the camera. Well, welcome to our van. I know a lot of you have been waiting several months to see this, and we just kept making some modifications to try and get it just right. And then we finally realized, you know, it's an ongoing journey. It's never going to be done when you build your own van, because you always find new things that you can do. So this is the first of what may be several van tours, but we're very, very excited to share this with you today. This is a 2020 Mercedes Sprinter van. It's a 4x4, 2500, so it's the 170 wheelbase. And we needed that because the two of us are going to be living in here full time. We already are living in here full time and have been for about, what, 6 months, Jed?
Yes.
Yeah, so we needed that space. So when we were designing it, and both the layout and also how we wanted it to look inside, we knew that we wanted it to feel more like a home and not just a recreational vehicle. Not that that's a bad thing, but we just felt like we wanted a little bit cozier feel. So we did tongue and groove, and we whitewashed it and varathaned it, and we did tongue and groove on the ceiling and also on the walls. You'll see a little bit around the windows here, and you'll see more in the back. And then we made our cabinets over our bench seat a little bit deeper than some, and that's because these are the two dry good cabinets. And so this is basically our pantry, or our dry goods area anyway, and we were going to need space. So by coming out a little bit, we were able to gain some much needed space in that. And because we're using a bench seat as our main seating, we don't bump our heads when we get up. So that was also a thing that allowed us to make these a little bit deeper. We have this very cool table, and we had seen it online and really liked it, and then when we saw a friend of ours use his, we decided we had to go for it. We had built our own table, but we really felt like we needed something a little bit lighter and more adaptable. So as you can see, it opens up very nicely into a seating arrangement. However we want it, we can loosen the other part of it and swivel it and do many different configurations so that one of us can be eating sitting on the bench seat and one of us can be eating in the captain's chairs, which both swivel, so that makes that really convenient. And then when we're driving, or when we're just living and not needing the table, we just tuck it away, which is really nice. So we've been very happy with this table, and both in the way it's made and also in the weight of it. It's very lightweight. So in the bench seat, we have storage, and we're really excited about that. We have lockable storage in here, and we also have storage back here as well with these nice leather tabs on it. And this one currently is not locking, so that we can use it for extra pantry items, and the Instapot is in there, so it's really a great bit of storage. And then we have a charging drawer because photographers need to charge their batteries, and we wanted to be able to charge while we were going. So we built a charging drawer in the middle of the bench seat. Our Eberspacher heater is below that, so it comes out into the middle of the cabin and does a beautiful job. The only thing we do have to watch for is when we're sitting here, your toes can get a little bit toasty, so we just have to move around a little when it's on, but it's really a delight. On the galley side, we have a 2-burner propane stove, and we went with propane because we wanted to cook with gas. We're used to it. And because we wanted also to have a backup should the electrical system go, or you're really low on battery because you've been in a rainy week and you've got no juice to power an induction stove or anything, we could still prepare food. And we just thought that was really important to us. And again, we're really used to cooking with gas at home. So when we moved into this, we said that's the way we wanted to go. Below that, in the galley, we have several drawers for utensils, and again, trying to lighten the load, just minimal utensils, and pots and pans are in the 2 drawers below. But then I wanted a pantry, and so the pantry fit in between the galley of drawers and the sink cabinet. And it's just enough for some of the basic items that we like to use. And then in the process of building this, we found we had room for some parchment papers, some Ziploc bags, some foil back here, all those things that you have to try and figure out where to store. And so this ended up being multiple purpose in that, which really pleased us. We have a 13-inch sink. It's nice and deep, and we have a swivel faucet with a sprayer and a regular stream of water on it, and we have a drinking fountain with a triple filter system down here. So this is the typical under the sink closet that holds all of your stuff. And then I'm really pleased with this. It's very simple, but I made knife storage. Yeah, we've seen a lot of those magnets that people hang the knives on, stick the knives to on the wall, but we felt that this was a safer way to travel with knives in a van, especially the bumpy roads that we're going down. Above the sink, we have our gauges, and Jed did a wonderful job in putting the gauges in. We have 2. We have a freshwater tank gauge, and then we have a gray water, and we actually have 2 of them because we have 2 tanks, one for our shower and one for the sink gray water. And that came about because of the way the hoses had to work underneath the van, and you wanted gravity feed to be able to keep those drained well. So we decided to put 2 in. We've got lights here in the galley, so we've got lights for cooking. And then you'll see here, we also have lights up in here. We're going to talk about this in another video, but this is basically our shower inside the van. And we'll show that, demonstrate it. This counter lifts up, as you can see here, and inside this cabinet is our toilet and all of the shower related things. And right now what's also in there is the extra toilet paper, the extra paper roll, paper towel roll, all the things that you don't often see in the videos because they're hidden away, but the reality is you need all that stuff with you. So that's what's in there. And when we come back to here, you can see that the bed is up against the cabin wall, and we've got this extra space here. Well, when it's time to go to sleep, these things get moved, and the bed is on a motor, and the bed moves forward to here, and the back of the bed, which is currently in daybed mode, will drop down, and that's all automated, which is really terrific. So we're not having to push or pull or do anything like that, and it works great. But it gives us 16 inches or so more counter space on this side and also on this side. We've got plugs in the wall over here, so this enables one of us to be working on our laptops or doing backups and having our drives laid out while somebody else might be working at the table up front, which is really great. On this side of the van, we have a couple of really fun things. We need spices because we like to cook, and we didn't want your just basic 8-spice combination. So we had these spice racks at home, and we decided to put them back to back and make this pull-out drawer for spices. So they're alphabetized, which makes it nice. They're in plastic jars. They started out in glass, and it was really too heavy up here, and I felt that it was unwieldy, so we switched back to the plastic containers for the spices. And we've just used regular drawer glides, but we put 2 of them at the bottom so that it gave it that support for tracking back and forth. And we have a little clip on it for safety, just in case on a turn that thing wanted to open. In here, we reveal the mirror. Now you can see Jed and the camera. Hi, Jed. Okay, but what's really nice is that we have room for our Bambino from Breville. And we like to have our cappuccino in the morning, and so this has allowed us to do that. And again, 2 drawer glides underneath that give it the support, and it tucks back in nicely, and then this closes down. I have to trim this mirror. I forgot that with the 80-20 that the mirror would be in the way, so I've got to trim about 1/4 of an inch off, and then the door will close completely. So, you know, that's the next project. And then, because we do presentations and we sometimes have to look very presentable to clients on the road, we made a little closet. So we each have a couple of nice shirts and pants and or a skirt hanging up in there, the apron hanging, and a couple of pairs of shoes underneath. So that was important to us because otherwise everything comes out of bags or bins rolled up, you know, and not necessarily wrinkle-free. We have a toaster oven, convection oven combination, and this came from home. We may be switching it out. We love it because we love to make toast, but we would also like to have a microwave, and so we're kind of weighing the options right now, trying to decide what we really want to keep and you know, what we really want to have. These are just protective mats that I store in here when we're riding down the road. These go on these counters, and it allows baskets or bins, such as the paper towel holder and a bin of vitamins, to stay put. So that's really nice. And then we have some drying mats that we just tuck in here. Everything has to have its place. It really needs to be convenient. You have to have access to it, but you also need to store it away so that it's not in your face. And then this had been our toaster oven spot originally, and we had the refrigerator up to here. Well, that was great because it was easier on the knees and the back, but then the toaster oven was too high and you really couldn't see into it, and trying to pull something out of it was not very ergonomic. So we changed that up before we did this video, and we dropped the refrigerator freezer back to the floor and put the toaster oven down at this level, and that opened up an opportunity for us to have some storage space up here. So we have our plates and bowls and our cappuccino cups, and our pizza stone is all up in here. We may at some point put a door on this to match the rest of them, but we kind of like it with it open right now. It's very convenient and it's a lower priority. This is Jed's closet, and we've been using soft bins and soft cubes to store our clothing, and they've worked out really, really well. And then my closet is on the opposite side here, and the same thing, just able to store as much as we can in that. And it's really all the clothes that we need. I have a few things in some bins in the back in the garage that are for travel, when I need to travel abroad and I need smart casual clothing with me. I didn't want to store it in here all the time, so it's in a plastic tub in the garage and tucked in the back, so I don't need to access it until I'm flying off for a job. And our pillows. Everything, again, is multifunctional. The small turquoise pillows are holding sweaters. I have a long tunic jacket that I really like that will be going on jobs with me. And so those are tucked in there. The pillow with the dragonfly is actually a real pillow. We haven't filled that one up with anything yet, but when it gets to be really hot, we may be opting to take the comforter off the bed and using that pillow as its storage. In this back part of the van, up against the cabin wall, you'll see 3 areas of drawers. And again, because we're living full-time on the road, we needed storage. And as photographers, we needed a drawer for photo accessories, and we also needed a drawer for toiletries, etc. So on the right hand side here we have, and we've had to divide them, we have our toiletries, miscellaneous things that each of us has a half a drawer for. The drawer below is all our business cards and assorted camera accessories, some of the small bits that you don't quite know what to do with. And the next drawer down, which I will not pull out all the way because we have our footstool in here, is a drawer that houses some pasta containers and a couple of collapsible silicone things for storing food and so forth. And the very bottom drawer is actually only half depth, and that is because this sits over the wheel well, and that space was still needing to be used. So we created a drawer that is half the depth, so it goes back to the wheel well, and it contains our shower, shampoo stuff, and our first aid things that we want to have inside the van. And behind that, we still actually have a little cubby hole for storing. So that's really nice, and it's hidden away, not that we need to hide anything in there, but some of the bigger bottles that we're not using or extra things that we'll only access when we run out of what's in the drawer can all go back in there. And then this set of drawers here is the main dresser. I have the top two and Jed has the bottom two, and they're blocked at the moment, but ordinarily they're not. And then you'll see that there's a locked cabinet here. And then over on this side, we had space, again, over the wheel well, this part of it. So we have a space for cutting boards and placemats. And then you have to have a utility drawer, right? These have a good tug to them so they don't pop open on their own. So this is a utility drawer with pens and tape and scissors and so forth. And then some of our hand and dish drying towels are in there as well. And then we have a really fun thing. Our water tank is over the wheel. And so we had space here that we were trying to figure out what to do with, and we made it a bread box. And yeah, it looks like we eat a lot of bread, but honestly, this bread is keeping really nicely in here, and so are the potatoes because they're in the dark and they're cool. And so that has worked out really, really well as a bread box. And we didn't start out planning that we were going to have one of those, but it ended up being a perfect thing to have in here. There's a couple of things that you learn about when you're building a van, and you just have to make do once you've gotten everything shipped to you. And this refrigerator is one of them. We love this refrigerator, but we discovered that it did not have positive latches, even though it was made for the marine world. So we put on the baby latches so that when we're driving, the refrigerator doesn't open. But it's a great refrigerator. It's got a lot of fresh food storage and for bottles and cans and so forth in the main part of it. And unlike a lot of under-the-counter refrigerator freezers, this one has a separate freezer. And that's the thing that we really love. And hopefully nothing's going to fall out when I open this, because we're pretty stuffed because we're going on a big journey through Canada. We wanted to have some of our favorite foods with us. So this freezer is really a good size, and it's been excellent to have this. And these baby catches, at first we thought, darn, they're going to be a pain, but they're really not. And they give us peace of mind. When we started out with our van living, we had a bunk ladder, and you can see the two brackets that are on the footboard of the bed. And we used it for the first 6 months, but we started thinking twice about it because the ladder was just always a ladder. And during the day, we would pick it up and we would put it on the bed, off on the right, and it was only being employed when we needed to get up and down in the bed, which wasn't very often. So we got to thinking about it. We decided to bring back the footstool that we originally had thought about, and found that we can easily step up on it and then step right up into the bed. Now I've pulled it out away from the dresser drawers because this is the position that it would normally be in when the bed is already all the way out and ready to climb into. And what's really nice about this footstool is, again, multifunctional. This is also shoe storage. Now at the moment, my divider is just super thick, super strong, half-inch corrugated cardboard that a friend of mine who owned a scooter shop had tons of, and it turned out to be a great divider. It's super lightweight, and we were able to then get 4 compartments for extra shoes, because shoes are a big thing in the van. Like, where do you put all that stuff? And so now we'll show you how the bed comes out and lowers in the back. The sound you're hearing is the actuator. We have an actuator that's about 300 pounds in terms of the force that it can manage, but we don't tend to use it while we're up in the bed because we figured that that might be pushing it. So we just put it up and down when we're ready. So you can see where the beds come out just to that division here with the countertop. And that allows this lid to open up, which is really nice. And again, we'll be featuring some of that in another video. In the meantime, that's the overview of our van.